Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my theory tuition series where I'm working with you step by step through the ABRSM theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets and you can download these in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series to help you. You'll find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also find out about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and hints on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time on exam day when you're actually working through your exam paper. So if you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that would be fab. Please subscribe and share. And now we'll crack on with paper C. So if you turn with me to page 11, we'll make a start with this. Now I always suggest that you have a go of this on your own. First of all, it doesn't matter if you go wrong. It's always better to learn by your mistakes. Always work in pencil. I use a mechanical pencil just so that it stays nice and sharp, so that you know you're not going to be losing some marks if your answers aren't clear and neat. And then if you've got an eraser, it doesn't matter if you go wrong, you can just rub it out and have another go. You could also do with having a ruler to hand as well, just to keep things neat and tidy. So I'm hoping you've had a go of this, and now we'll look at this first question together. So question 1 asks us to add the missing bar lines to these two melodies. So we have two separate melodies with two separate time signatures. So just be careful there. Don't presume that it's a continuation. It's actually two separate. So we are counting in quarter notes or crotchet beats. We need to find what adds up to 4 crotchet beats or 4 quarter notes per bar. So they've given us the first bar. Let's just work that out just as a bit of practice. So we have a 1 beat note here, there's 1 crotchet beat, and then the half again here, because a dot makes a note half as long again, so that's 1.5 beats. Here we have a quaver or an 8th note, which is worth half a beat. So far we've got 2 beats. Then we have 1 beat here and 1 beat here, that's 3, 4. There's our 4 crotchet beats or whatever adds up to that. And so let's carry on. So here we have a 2 beat note, and then we have a 1 beat here and a 1 beat here, that makes 4, and so we can put our bar line there. Now we have a run of quavers here. They're beamed together now rather than being on their own individually. So we know that 2 quavers or 2 8th notes make 1 crotchet, that's 1 beat. So 2 quavers, 2 8th notes make 1 beat, because a half plus a half equals 1. Then we have 1 beat here and 1 beat here, 2 crotchet beats, 2 quarter notes, and so that will add up to 4. So there's our bar line. And now we have 2 beats here, that's our minim, our half note, 1 beat here, 1 crotchet beat, and this is a crotchet rest, a quarter note rest. So that's 1 beat of silence, which adds up to 4, and so that last bar is complete, and so we know that we've not gone wrong elsewhere. The next one is the similar sort of adding up, but this time we're only adding up to 2 quarter notes or 2 crotchet beats per bar. Again, they've given us the first bar, so we have 1 beat here. Now here we have a half a beat, and then half of a half, as it were, because we need to, the dot adds it half as long again, so that's plus a quarter, that makes 3 quarters, and then we have a quarter of a beat here with that semiquaver, that 16th note. All together they are beamed together to show that that's 1 beat. Now if maths isn't your strong point, like me, the way I visualise this is I imagine there's my whole beat divided into quarters. We have a half of a beat here with that quaver, that 8th note, so there's a half of a beat. The dot after the note makes it half as long again, so there's our half of a half, that's our quarter. We have a quarter of a beat left, and altogether that makes 1 beat. So it just helps to visualise it like that sometimes. So pressing on, these are quavers or half a beat each, 8th notes. We know that 2 halves make 1 beat. Quaver, quaver equals a crotchet, so there's 1 beat. 8th note makes a quarter note, so there's another beat. So there's 1, 2, that's our bar line. So again, here we have a quaver and a quaver, or 2 8th notes make 1 crotchet, which is 1 beat. There's another 1 beat in a crotchet or a quarter note, so there's our bar line there. Now here we have 4 semiquavers, 4 16th notes, which are worth half of a half, as it were. We worked that out there, or it's a quarter of a beat. And the way we can work that out, if you think there's our crotchet or quarter note, which divides into 2 quavers, which divides into 4 semiquavers or 4 16th notes. So we know that 4 semiquavers, 4 16th notes makes the full beat. So we know that that's 1 beat there, and it's beamed to show us a crotchet beat. So there we can see there's 1 beat and there's the next beat. So visually you can see that it's 1 beat, 2 beats. So there we go. And we already know that that's 2 quaver beats gives us a crotchet, or 2 8th notes gives us a quarter note. And then our last note is a minim or a half note, which is 2 beats, which is correct. And so we know that that's right. So there we go. Just a little bit of careful thinking with your maths, and that's that job done. Let's look at the next question. So for the first part of this question, we need to give the letter name of the notes marked with a star. They very helpfully reminded you to include the sharp sign wherever necessary. So we have to take into consideration this key signature. So we have an F sharp here. Whenever there's a 1 sharp, it's always an F sharp, but you can double check that because we know that the treble clef lines are every good boy deserves football, or every green bus drives fast, or whatever helps you to remember the notes of the lines. And so F sharp, so we need to just keep our eyes peeled to remember the key signature may be active. So here we go. Now we know that this top line is F. We've just worked out the F sharp. Every good boy deserves football. So 1 above that is G. So we can work it out that way. Every good boy, there's B. Notice I always use capital letters. Use capital letters when you're naming notes. It's just part of the standard system. So here the spaces for the treble clef spell face, F-A-C-E, so that's an F-A. So there we go. So another space here, F-A-C, and then F-A-C-E. Now we're back onto the lines. So every good boy deserves. However, just watch out because they've already given you that. So actually they've given you that mark for free. If you just look back and you can see that they've given you that. And so if you do get a little bit lost, what you can do is from the note that they've given you, you can work out from that note. So let's say you got a bit stuck on this high note here. You can think, well, I know that's a D, and then just count space, line, space, D, E, F, G. So you can always work it out from something that they've given you. There's always some help at hand if you just look hard enough. So here we know this is a D. Every good boy deserves football, so that's an F. However, remember, that's not quite accurate because the key signature is in place, so actually that's an F sharp. And then finally this last note, every good, that's a G. There we go. So this next part of the question is just a little bit of observation. How many bars contain a dotted crotchet, or you may call it a dotted quarter note? So we are looking for a crotchet that has a dot, a dotted quarter note. So let's see how many bars contain that. So there's 1 in this bar, so that bar does. Nope, nope, yes, nope. So 2 bars contain a dotted crotchet. So just a little bit of observation there. And that's that question completed. I do hope that's helpful to you. If you can give me a like, that would be really super, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's always lots more in store. Also, please do visit sharonbill.com and have a good browse around all of the resource and information that's available there to help you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.